The Warriors going to Madison Square Garden down 8 at the half. They outscored the New York Knicks by 20 in the second half. A big-time third quarter helped flip this game, and they go away with a 12-point victory over the third-best team in the Eastern Conference, and the Warriors improved to 3-1 on this road trip. 9-1 with Jimmy Butler in the lineup. So a big win for the Golden State Warriors, and they'll try to get greedy Thursday against the Brooklyn Nets to try to go 4-1 on this 5-game roadie and come back home Saturday against the Pistons. And we'll dive into this one here on Toyota Warriors Postgame Live with the Hall of Famer Chris Mullin, NBA champion Festus Ezeli. I am Vontae Hill. I got to give you credit. Defense led to offense. Offense led to defense. You had a little bit of everything in this game. I got to give you credit. Defense. They were swarming in that fourth quarter.
Yes, absolutely. The Warriors really turned it up in the second half. The first half offensively was a rough watch. This is for both teams. Nobody could make a shot, especially from the outside. The Warriors only made 5 threes in the first half. In the second half, 8 for 14. And that only came as a result of guys moving the ball, moving themselves, getting stops and running in transition. Jimmy Butler came alive in the second half. He was going to the free throw line. He was getting baskets, but those baskets came because he was cutting, he was moving. Steph Curry's gravity was really sucking everybody in. He started off the second half really coming into the paint. He was shooting short shots, really staying out of the three-point line, going into the paint, causing a lot of damage. The Knicks defense kept trying to limit Steph's touches, and it just caused havoc for everybody else on the team. So great job, great win by the Warriors tonight.
Vontae, you said impressive win, by far the best team the Warriors have played since Jimmy Butler has arrived. Huge test. They got an A+ on this test. I thought in the first half they were playing good basketball, weren't making shots, but they were getting great looks. The Knicks team, horrible defending the three-point shot. As Festus said, 8 of 14 from the three. Jimmy Butler got to the free throw line. This was an impressive performance, especially defensively, and the fact that it was on a back-to-back.
Right.
So it was an impressive win tonight.
Yeah, Stephen Curry was impressive, leading the way with 28 points, 9 assists, and 7 rebounds. But let's pick it up in the third quarter. Warriors were trailing by 8 at the half, 55-47, and they flipped it right away with the 17-8 run. Jimmy Butler got going in the third quarter. He scored 9, got to the free throw line 4 times, and then the chef. He's a bad, bad man, especially at MSG. He scored 14 in the frame, and Stephen Curry has won 10 consecutive games at Madison Square Garden. That by far leads anybody in NBA history. Just well played. Nice pass there by Podge, who also had a good game.
No, it's an impressive third quarter. Steph Curry scores 14, but I just thought the pace of play picked up. Advancing the ball, we saw several times. Direct pass right to Buddy Hield for wide open 3. We saw 2 of those. We saw Guy Santos left wide open at the 3-point line. So you see why the Knicks' 3-point defense is 30th in the league. Very lackadaisical, not paying attention to detail. Very uncommon for a Tom Thibodeau team.
And in the green room, Fezzi fell. We went crazy after that Buddy 3 because you see the records there. When trailing after 3, the Warriors are 1-22. But Buddy hits that 3, the Warriors go up 1, and they now improve to 32-4 when leading after 3. Some stats matter, right? This one matters.
Absolutely. But what I'll say, even in addition to that, Vontae, is ending quarters and the way you end quarters matter. And I think that the end where Buddy comes in and hits a shot before the quarter ends, that led into the fourth quarter start where they were getting a lot of stops. Really limited the Knicks offense in that fourth quarter. Jalen Brunson, who was hot, who was really, really hot. He was 17 points in the first half.
Yep.
Well, he ends up with, 22
25
points tonight. They did a good job on him. Moses Moody, you got to give him a lot of credit. Yes, other guys got him along the way as well. Jimmy Butler got on Jalen Brunson. Guy Santos got on Jalen Brunson as well. But Moses Moody was his main assignment the whole night, and he did a good job not letting him get loose. And with that, he really controlled the New York Knicks in the second half.
And Millie, one of our keys to the game was keeping the New York Knicks off the free throw line. They shot 10 free throws in the first half, made 8 of them, just got to the line 5 times in the final 2 quarters.
This was a really good matchup for the Warriors. We talked pregame. This is not a Knicks team that's going to blow by you. They're more big, strong, and athletic. Brunson's going to play positional basketball. As Festus said, I thought Moody did a masterful job keeping him front, contested 2s. He had 17 until the late part of the game, so they kept him under control, playing without Karl Anthony Towns, one of the big-time scorers, very limited from the three-point line. But I want to put a little context on those stats there. So to me, that means keep it close till Steph gets back in the game. Because Steph always sits the last 4 or 5 minutes for the third.
Yep.
So if that stat there tells you anything, if you keep the game close or you have a lead, Steph Curry's coming in to finish the game.
And we were checking out those non-Curry minutes in the first half. It was -8. At one point late in the third quarter, it was -14 in the non-Steph minutes. But Buddy got hot late in the third quarter, and they were able to go into the final frame with a 1-point lead and close this one out. But let's talk about the chef, Stephen Curry, who's had himself some type of road trip. Look at the longest active winning streaks at MSG for a player. Steph Curry's won 10 straight games there in that building. Telling me he doesn't love it. Kevin Durant also loves it. He's got 7 wins in a row.
That was when he was with Steph, a bunch of those?
Yeah, 3 of those with Steph and Curry, no doubt about that. But Steph has won 10 straight games. And look at this night. 10 of 21 from the floor. Mikal Bridges was all over him. Fezzi fell. He goes 5 of 9 from the 3-point line, 7 rebounds, another 9 dimes. Almost had another double-double on his trip. Just a masterful performance as he let the game come to him.
Not only was Steph hitting those shots from deep, 5 for 9 from the 3-point line, tonight you saw a different way of Steph Curry creating shots for others. A couple times he back screened for Jimmy Butler, was able to get him layups there. You saw so many times where there was a double team on Steph, where the ball swung to somebody else, and somebody was wide open. Guy Santos got a dunk that way. Kevon Looney got a dunk that way. That's that gravity that Steph Curry presents on the court each night. You saw that tonight and how it got guys easy shots, and they were able to break open when they continued to move the ball. So Steph Curry is just a generational talent, and everybody in New York came out tonight on a big night to watch Steph Curry play against their New York Knicks.
Bill Simmons from the Ringers. Steph and LeBron are both on legit good teams again, only it's 2025. It's kind of nuts.
Crazy.
That is Bill Simmons, longtime Celtic fan. So, yes, and the Warriors are going to add Jonathan Kuminga at some point here, but so far they're handling their business on this road trip, Willie, at 3-1. We thought they would beat the Sixers, and this would be the game that they may have trouble with, but they flipped that. They lose to Philly, but they beat a more impressive New York Knicks team.
No question. This is the best team they've played with Jimmy Butler. And I thought this second half, they won 67-47, had a playoff feel to it, had a playoff pace to it. And I thought the Warriors did a masterful job, as Fezzi said, moving the basketball, playing inside out. And, with Jimmy Butler on the floor, when that game's close in the fourth quarter, he's going to get you to the line, settle the game down, which not only gives you points, sets your half-court defense, so you're not getting fast break points. And then, I've noticed on those possessions, when Jimmy Butler has the ball, the spacing and the body movement still going on. You've seen it several times. He found Buddy Hield. He found Guy Santos. And towards the end of the game, found Steph Curry a few times for wide-open threes. So last night, Steve Kerr talked about maintaining that ball movement with Jimmy Butler on the floor. We saw several times coming out of timeouts, Steve Kerr had Jimmy Butler handling the basketball in the pick-and-roll situation to get that ball moving in the possession.
30 assists again for the Golden State Warriors tonight against the New York Knicks. Last night, 32 assists. And, of course, Stephen Curry, he loves to put on the show. He's one of the greatest showmen we've ever seen in sports history. Late in the game, Fezzi fell up 8. Great steal by Draymond Green. Scramble drill. Jimmy Butler, the awareness to see Steph all by himself. He almost pulled out the night-night. But he says, you know what? I'm going to leave it alone.
They got another game in New York on Thursday.
Barclays Center. But look at this play right here. Wide open. I don't think he's been this wide open since he's been in the league, Fezzi.
I mean, tonight, I thought the New York Knicks did a great job on Steph Curry, not letting him breathe. This is one of the few wide open shots. And you know when he gets a wide open shot, what's it going to be, Bonte?
Night-night.
It's bottoms. And Steph right there, that shot does not happen without Jimmy Butler pressuring and trying to get the offensive rebound right there. Because of that, Draymond Green's also right there to get the steal. And, of course, he's going to find Steph.
See Grandmama right there.
Yeah. Larry Johnson. Old Charlotte Hornet, 4-point play New York Knicks. Yeah,
I didn't want to bring that up, Willie. You did that on your own.
Yeah.
It was a phantom foul.
But to me, this team, all of a sudden, Steph Curry, we talked about a pregame. Every night, top blocking, blitzing on the ball, off the ball. Not only has Steph Curry been so accustomed to play against that, I think his teammates are getting more comfortable being more active out of that double team and not forgetting about Steph Curry, but playing within that possession, attacking the paint, kicking out, moving, screening. And then if Steph Curry's open at the end of the play, they'll find him, as opposed to staying on the perimeter and not making that defense collapse. So I really think they're being much more aggressive when defenses are attacking Steph, that first pass out, attacking the paint, making the defense react. A lot more, to me, more lethal weapons on the floor. It feels like 5 guys really aggressive offensive, which puts a lot more pressure on the opponent's defense to change their strategy.
I mean, what I love is Steve Kerr has seen every combination so far of his team. We've laughed all the time about how we've seen 34 different starting rotations so far. And at the start of the season, that wasn't great. But now at this point, you can rip the benefits of that, because even at the end of the game, you have a guy, Guy Santos, as a role player, but he was there at the end of the game to get stopped. Steve Kerr knows exactly what he brings to the table. And in the second half, he gets a big bucket, a screen and roll with Steph, roll into the basket, gets a wide open dunk. Understanding how to play with Steph is really important. And all these guys have had a chance to play with Steph within the system with each other. So now they're starting to figure out how to play together.
No, it's a big-time win as we go back out to Madison Square Garden with Fitzibuki, who's standing by with Jimmy Buckets, Jimmy Butler.
So Jimmy Butler gives away the jersey, but fantastic game along with Steph Curry. How big was this win coming off the back-to-back, and how good does it feel to be 3-1 on this road trip?
Yeah, really good. Guys played hard, played together, never got down, and stuck it out and got a dub.
You guys executed so well. Talk to us about some of those back screens. You were setting some, you got some of the ball screens. What's it like reading the defense off of those as the Knicks kind of struggle to get through those?
It's great. We got so many guys that are so unselfish that want to get everybody else the ball. Sometimes it's a bad thing because we're too unselfish, not taking the right shots. But in the end, we figured it out. We went into halftime, talked about what we were going to do, came out and executed.
When you say too unselfish, that's you a little bit. You're getting so many guys involved. Tonight you had 19, 6 of 12 shooting. Sometimes Jimmy Butler, don't take part, take over.
Nah, as long as we get wins, I don't care about any of that. So as long as whatever I'm doing, whatever we're doing is leading to W's, I don't care about anything else.
You talked about the adjustment at halftime. You guys end up getting the 50 points in the paint. Much more work inside instead of shooting the threes. Even though they were great looks you guys were getting, and that kind of balanced out your offense. Talk to me about that adjustment.
I mean, I think anybody tell you, I love getting into the paint and getting layups and getting free throws. I want more guys to take the easy ones and transition, run for lays instead of to the three every single time. But we did it. We figured it out, and we won, so nothing against it.
How about the physicality with you and OG Anunoby? Man, that was a matchup to watch.
Yeah, we've had battles through the years. He's a hell of a player, and he's gotten better every single year. I know he's been doing well here. I continue to wish him the most success, but the Warriors got one.
Bro, you are the best almost ever at jumping into bodies, and it is so contagious. Other guys are doing that. Talk to us about how you kind of developed that. Was that just something you naturally did so well? You never avoid contact.
Never. I actually search it out a little bit too much sometimes. I like to play bully ball. I like to run in there and hit guys, get in the bonus, so everybody can see the ball go in from the free throw line.
Yes, well, the Warriors are 9 of 11 since you've been acquired. We see a lot of Jimmy Butler smiles, and you're putting a lot of smiles on Warrior faces. We appreciate you stopping.
Appreciate you.
All right, Jimmy Butler with 19. Steph had 28. Pajemski 19. Big win for the Warriors. They take care of the Knicks in the Garden.
Great performance for Jimmy Butler, especially in that second half. He got off to a slow start tonight. And you look at the previous 3 games, I should say, on this road trip. 6 points against Charlotte, a game after missing the Philly game with back spasms. Orlando didn't have it rolling. They put a bigger guy on him, Jonathan Isaac and Paulo Banchero. He goes 1 of 7 for just 5 points. Charlotte yesterday started to figure some things out in the second half as his back got looser. And then tonight, 13 points in the second half, and he was huge in the third quarter, setting the tone with 9 points, getting to the free throw line 9 times in the final 2 quarters of this game. 7 of 9 for the free throw line. The 3 ball hasn't been rolling for him, but he's finding different ways to impact basketball games, Fezzi.
Well, so far, Bonte, Jimmy is a work in progress for the Warriors. This is rotation-wise with Steve Kerr. This is with each player understanding the effect of Jimmy playing off the post and also the effect of Jimmy tonight playing with the ball in his hands as a ball handler in the ball screen. You know, the team is continuing to evolve, and you just see night after night, they just continue to get better. The biggest effect this has been on the bench. The bench players, Brandon Pajemski, Moses Moody, Buddy Hield, these guys have benefited from having Jimmy Butler in the lineup. But when you have Jimmy there with Steph Curry, you have the ball going inside, that's a scoring threat, and the ball goes outside to Steph, that's a scoring threat. Both of those together, now you have guys in the middle that can work. So Draymond Green has talked about how him and Jimmy they're finding their chemistry together, finding ways to score, how you now find ways to get into open areas because you know Jimmy Butler is also a playmaker, and that's an underrated part of his game.
Yeah, work in progress has been an A+ because they're 9-2. They've done it different ways against different teams. But you listen to Jimmy Butler's comments there. He's got an old school approach to basketball. He wants to play inside the 3-point line. He wants to, be physical, get to the free throw line. The polar opposite of Steph Curry's offensive arsenal. Now all of a sudden you put those two together. Now it's much easier for those role players to figure out exactly where they fit in. Steph's going to be, running around different ways to try and get open on the perimeter. Jimmy's always going to be inside the 3-point line. When it gets down to Jimmy on an ISO in the mid-post, to me, it's much easier to make your decision to cut, to space, or to screen. When you're basically watching from here and Jimmy's down there, you can see the whole play in front of you. So that's really helped their half-court offensive efficiency. but it also has helped their defense because they know exactly where shots are coming from. You got better floor balance. You're not getting run out on as much as you. And to me, it's not a negative thing, but you don't have to go to the offensive rebounds as much because you think about when you're charging to the offensive rebound for the 3-point line, then you're retreating on defense. That's opened up some transition points. With Jimmy Butler, all of a sudden, you got great floor balance defensively. You're getting a shot on goal almost all the time. A lot of times high-quality shots, and if not, he's getting to the free throw line. So we saw those stats about the third quarter. So when that game is close, you have Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler to really control the last 8 minutes of the game. You're in good shape.
And the guy who benefited off all that movement and action from Jimmy and Steph, Brendan Pajewski. He hooped tonight at MSG. 19 points for Pods, 8 of 16 from the floor. Very decisive in